We're rolling. So, a bit later than normal. Normally I'll be doing this on a Monday, but we're doing it on a Wednesday today. So I'm going to go live and have a little look at trades and also look at trades and markets that are relevant to us in our trading room. So let's get the screen up here and let's start with oil. So you should be able to see a chart of oil. This is the daily chart. I'm going to bring in the weekly chart. Now, the reason I'm starting on oil is because we are holding tight on our monthly oil trade. We were triggered long a little bit further back. I will go back to the daily chart and show you that. So we were triggered long. You can see that we've got this longer term trend line that price is reacting to here. It's also hovering around the $60 a barrel mark just here. So currently with this trade, and the reason I want to bring this up is there's really a psychological thing going on here. It's all well and good traders talking about running trades and holding trades, but at the moment we're in this trade. We were triggered in on the 2nd just here. So at the moment with this trade, we're sitting around we've got up to a 7-to-1 in terms of risk to reward. So in terms of the actual movement of the price, we got to a 7-to-1, but based on the strategy, we've locked in 5-to-1. So the majority of us as a collective, it's not just me that's trading this, there's other guys within TSC that are doing this as well. We're locked in at 5-to-1. So it's a lovely trade because you're guaranteed 5-to-1 what you risked on the trade. You're not going to lose. You're locked in, but you still got to maintain discipline. It would be tempting. There is technical reasons to get out, but this is where the data on this strategy and the 20 years worth of testing and 5 years of trading this override my discretion or my technical consideration or any kind of reason to get out here. So yes, I might see that and go, that's a logical place to get out, and I could get out and bank 6.5-to-1 instead of the 5. This strategy is tested a specific way. So I'm sitting in this trade. So currently, yeah, it's a nice position. So I'm sat at, as I've said, 5-to-1, locked in. We'll see whether or not price reacts to this level, comes down and stops us out close to the 5-to-1 mark, or whether or not we decide to go higher and move up. If we can get outside of this trend line, then there's nothing in the way between here. And if I go back up to the weekly chart, there's nothing in the way between here and the 2020 highs and the 2019 highs. So this could be a real runner. We'll have to wait and see. So those of you that are in it, that are running the trailing stop version of this, you got to hold on this one. All right. So that's oil. We'll come back to a couple of other trades very shortly. If you're putting comments in the box, I won't see them until the end because I want to focus on the charts. So remember, I'm looking at charts, looking at screens. So I'll stay focused on that. I can see out the corner of my eye comments coming in. I will come back to those when we get to the end. So I want to have a little look at the S&P. So we'll stay on the weekly chart here. We're clear of those previous all-time highs. So at the moment, the S&P is just kind of slowly moving up. I'll go to the daily so you can see it a little bit more. It's edging up. So haven't really had a big day either up or down for a while now, but each day we're getting higher highs. Today could be the first, significant down day. I say significant. It's significant in that we get 2 closing days down in a row. We haven't had that for a little while, but you can see volume or range, I should say, not volume, but range of candles has actually decreased, but it is sort of edging higher here. Similar scenario on the Nasdaq. Nasdaq has been edging higher, and again, down day yesterday and could be a down day here. Again, for me, I don't really look at this in any other way than whether or not we get down to the 50, see whether we react like we did back here. At the 21, so the blue moving average here, both on the S&P and on the Nasdaq, could offer some of our guys a long trade, but price would need to get into that level, and then certain things would have to happen off the back of that, and they could end up with another long trade. They've had a lovely run. They've had plenty of winners up here. At some point, they're either going to have a loser from being stopped out, price might go higher, or price will get down, do what's required, and then roll over. So at some point that will happen, but that's not their job to consider that. They just need to take the setup as and when the setup comes along. So S&P, yeah, not a lot else to say there. Clear new highs, possible trade at the 21 moving average. Same on the Nasdaq as well. Possible trade at the 21 moving average if price reaches those levels there. DAX, gonna have a little look at the DAX. DAX is really sideways at the moment. These were the previous all-time highs. It nicked above them, went below them, and has been fairly sideways here. Now, I know our day traders who trade the DAX have had some good days, but in terms of any swing trades, we had a possible reversal set up here that ended up being a loser. That's all good, but nothing else for us now until price would essentially get below any form of trend line here. So we wouldn't consider any reversals. We wouldn't consider a pullback to trade long at the 21 because price has not made a new high. So let's scenario plan here. If price went up, made a new high, then we would consider further pullbacks, but it would need to make the new high for us to do that. And it hasn't done that. So there's no trade pullback here. So even if it does pull back and go up, you don't feel like you've missed out because it didn't meet the criteria. If price was to go up, go sideways, do whatever, if we break that trend line and we need to be below those previous lows, so if we come down from where we are here and move further down, then there could be some short opportunities in here if certain criteria are met. I'm not going to talk about oil because we've already talked about oil. Silver, we're just going to have a quick look at silver, see what that's been doing. So again, very sideways. We spiked up and got a retest of the 2020 highs. You can see that there. If I go up the time frames, go up to the weekly, you can see that there. So I've got a retest of those highs, potential divergence, but price has not really done anything since then. If I zoom up to the monthly, just to give you a perspective, silver's still got plenty of room in the tank to the upside if that was to occur. Still plenty of room compared to where it's been. But yeah, fairly sideways at the moment. Gold, again, very sideways, not really done a lot for most of 2021, being fairly sideways. It's fairly sideways since August. Had that big rally up end of last year and hasn't done a huge amount, just drifted down. Had a retest of, had a test of the 50, pushed up, didn't get new highs, and again, looking to a test here. If we get below these lows, so if we retest these lows, if we bounce or get below them on a second bounce, then I would be looking, really in that case, I'd be looking quite a bit further down off that weekly chart. Next area of support is down here, and you've got the weekly 200. That would drift up, but yeah, that's the next area of support. So maybe the 1500 mark around this area here if we were to break that. So we could see for us some swing trade short opportunities if gold was to get below these lows. It's too close to them right now, but if it was to get below these lows, then we could see some pullback opportunities on daily and 4-hour time frames there. If I go and have a little look at euro, so let's go and have a little look at euro. So euro, now this is interesting. I'm going to go down to the daily. We just missed out on a short trade on euro, us as swing traders. You'll see here that I was looking for price to pull back and the required level, and we were discussing this one potentially as whether we would getting a little bit early because of where the 50 moving average was, but I literally missed my entry by a couple of points yesterday, and price is heading in the direction we want. But that's just trading. That's the way you've got to look at it. So yeah, didn't quite get the setup we wanted, which was at this point here, slightly higher time frame moving average we were looking for. So a weekly 5 high we were looking for there. Didn't get it. Target would have been these lows. So that's just the way it goes. Trading, as a good friend of mine says, is often fine lines, and the difference between what could have been a nice 2.5 to 1 winning trade can be the difference between a couple of points. But it's not there yet. Hasn't actually made it. So it might come back up from here, go up and do that, and then as a result of that, we saved ourselves a loser. So I will be tracking this. It's something that we are very big on, is tracking trades that either get very close to target or what we would call no call trades. So we will be tracking that one. So euro, for me, I would be looking now for euro to test these short-term lows. If we go up a little bit higher and look at it regardless of whether or not we were looking at it from a trade point of view, still think euro could go higher. We've got the, if I go to the monthly chart, we've got the 2018 highs just here, and they coincide with the monthly 200. So I still think there is potential upside on euro, but it would need to obviously, if I go back to the weekly, it would need to take these highs out. If it does decide to push back up and take these highs out, I would be confident of a retest up at these highs here. All right, so if we take those highs out, I'd be confident of a retest, and then we would be looking for reversals. So our trend line break setup just missed out there, but we have had a couple of other trades, and I'm going to show you those in a second. Yeah, so I'd be looking, as I said, for short term for a test of those lows. If you take those out, then I'll be looking down towards the weekly 200. Next set of lows on the weekly are here, and they would line up quite nicely with the weekly 50. So I'll draw those in with a line just here. So I would be looking, if those lows get taken out, for euro to get down around this level here. So I'm going to go and have a little look at yen. Had a nice trade on yen recently. Bit more of a discretionary trade, but had a nice trade on yen. Got out of that yesterday. You can see it there. Nice 2-to-1 trade on yen. With yen, we're sitting currently at the weekly 50, so I was pleased to be able to get out of that trade. Nice logical exit with previous highs and the weekly 50 there. If we go higher, I would be looking towards the weekly 200, possibly these highs just here. They aren't the highs of 2020, but those highs as an interim stop there. Still didn't get a retest of the what I would call the COVID lows, so the March lows of this year. Didn't get that retest, but had a nice move, and you'll see on the daily here, nice trend line break, and then a move back down. So euro was a nice trade. Currently, I've got a long, I'll just show you this so you can see it. I've got a couple of trades running at the moment, but we'll focus primarily on this one here just so you can see it. So this is on one of my swing accounts. I've got a long position here on US dollar Swiss franc. So I've got a limit order up here. I have got a provisional target at these highs where I will manually take some profit off the table. But then I've got a limit order slightly higher just up at this level here. All right, so that is a trade that I'm running. I've got another trade on Swiss franc yen. I'm not going to talk about that now, but yeah, on US dollar Swiss franc, if we go back and just have a little look at this, you can see it there. So I'm just measuring out the 2-to-1. So I'm going to remove that. So yeah, for me, I'm looking at a test of these highs, but as I said, I've got a target that little bit higher. And again, I may adjust that target depending on what the daily 200 does. So yeah, I've got a nice position here. So I will just wait to see what happens. Weekly wise, I'll just get rid of all this. So we're using these in the trading room. So you can see here, we're stuck. The price is stuck between the weekly 21 and the weekly 5 low. So at the moment, you can see we've had a test, got a reaction to the 21, came back down, got our entry into the trade, as you can see there. Price is moving up. If we take these highs out, I'll be confident of a move further up there. Obviously, I'd like that to happen because I'm in the trade, but we'll have to wait and see on that. So that is US dollar Swiss franc. So that's pretty much me done. George, I can see you've got a couple of questions there. Is this an oil-based strategy? You'd use it across multiple markets? There's no reason why you can't use it or test it across multiple markets. Our oil strategy is specific to oil, primarily because we tested 20 years on it. It works really well. There's no reason why it couldn't work on other markets, but you would want to do the testing first. How many people are in our trading room and how much does it join? It depends what you want to do. It depends what level you are at, George. If you've got trading experience and you want to work with us closely, then send us an email and we'll send you some details about the trading room, all right? Because it depends whether you want to do swing trading or day trading. Something that we're very specific about is we don't just have a day trading room or a trading room. We actually have 3 trading rooms, all right? So Kerry runs a trading room, I run a trading room, and Martin has an early morning trading room. And each person in our Total Trader community will have a specific set of strategies that they run, some purely day, some purely swing, some a combination of the two. So depending on what you do will depend on how much it costs, okay? So yeah, overall on our Total Trader level, we have about 100 members on our Total Trader level, but obviously that's split across 3 different trading rooms, and we do cap that, all right? So if you're serious and you're interested, drop us an email, send us a DM on Facebook or Instagram, and then we will arrange a time that you can have a chat and see a little bit more about it, all right? But in terms of how much it costs, that's going to be dependent on what you specifically do. We don't actually have anything open until March, all right, because we've just taken in a load of people off our Kickstart. If you are interested in doing our Kickstart, and we suggest that most of our members do the Kickstart first, even if they've got trading experience, because usually if somebody's coming to us for help, it's because they've either got too much information, they've tried too many different things, they're not clearer, or they're making a load of mistakes, or have got a load of bad habits. So even if you've traded before, our 28-day Kickstart is a really good place to start. And that's the same for people who have never traded, all right? So we're running one of those in about 2 weeks in March, okay? So if that's something you're interested in, you can see that by going to the site. So if you are a free member, all the information about the Kickstart is there. It's £197 plus VAT for 28 days. You get access to myself, you get access to Kerry, and we go through each of our 4 pillars. So basically for about 50 quid a week, you get live sessions with us and access to us. So that is a really good place to start. All right. So if you're not a member, just go to Trader Support Club, click on any of the Start Right Now buttons that you see on the screen, and that will give you free membership access, and all the information is there for you. All right. So that will really help. Hope that answers your question. Good. Okay, guys. I will be back with another one of these on Monday. We'll see where the oil trade is and see if we've been triggered into any others. I've got a couple of other things that I want to discuss as well. So I will be back with some other Facebook Lives. They won't always be on StreamYard. All right. Good. I will catch up with you very soon. Oh, you've left another question, George. Hang on. Is your end goal to do this full time? Would it be typical trading? Yes. Well, it depends on. Full time will depend on a lot of things. Will depend on how much money you've got, will depend on returns that you can achieve. So it may be that you have to look at capital growth for 3, 4, 5 years to be able to get your account to a size where a realistic return would give you what you need to trade full time. Does that make sense, George? So everybody is different. I always get asked this, how long would it take me to get to full time? Well, I need to know how much money you've got, how much money you're planning to trade with. And it might be that you have to swing trade alongside your job for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then you can go full time. We've got a guy that's literally just going full time, but he did it through swing trading, but he was able to save money along the route as well as add money to his account. Does that make sense? So it's really important. Again, it's a bespoke thing. This is why training companies that say we can get you full time in a period of a year may or may not be true, but it's dependent on the student. There's also other avenues, like you can get funded accounts. Okay, so some of our guys have gone through that process, but again, too many traders approach that incorrectly. So there's lots there. All right. So try and keep these questions for when we do a Q&A for the Friday. All right, or send them in, and then we can give you a bespoke answer. All right, great stuff, guys. I hope that was useful. Great to see so many of you here. Thanks for your time. Give us a like, give us a share, and I'll catch up with you soon. Take care.